Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Teresa. Thank you for joining me. As many of you may know, I created this channel to help raise awareness for addiction through sharing my daughter's story, her battle, and loss to addiction, as well as my family's story of life after loss. On July 1st, 2018, we lost my beautiful daughter and her unborn son to an accidental drug overdose. My daughter was over a year in recovery at the time, and she was 4 months pregnant. That was the night that mine, her children, and our family's lives changed forever. Losing a child is the most tragic thing any parent could ever go through, and losing a grandchild is just as tragic. It took me a long time to be able to share her story. And then I decided I didn't want any other parent to have to go through what I went through, or another addict to lose their battle to addiction. So if that meant sharing her story, that's what I wanted to do. Today I want to talk about different memory of my daughter. There was a time when my daughter was involved with her boyfriend. They were not great together. In fact, they were quite toxic for one another. They both battled addiction, and neither one of them wanted to get sober. During this time, I had my grandchildren with me, and my daughter spent most of her time with this young man. They did drugs together and lived carelessly, basically. Prior to her relationship with him, I fought extremely hard to try and get my daughter sober. But then when she began dating him, it was me fighting times two to get her sober and to get her away from him so she could focus on herself and her sobriety, because I knew together they would not get sober. Eventually, they did separate, and sadly, he did pass away from addiction 2 years before my daughter did. I will never forget that phone call from my daughter. They had just separated a few days prior, but that's what they did. They would break up and get back together, break up, get back together. But this one time when they were separated, she found out that he passed away. He passed away at his mother's home, and his mother found him. When my daughter called me to tell me the news, I knew immediately that something was wrong. To hear the devastation and the pain in her voice, she was so heartbroken. And my heart broke for him and his mother and my daughter. No one should ever die from addiction. But it happens every day. People are dying. Many people are dying a day from addiction. I had hoped that that was a wake-up call for my daughter. That would be the moment that she would realize this could be me. There was a time where she even told me after he passed, I can't believe out of everybody that Quinn passed away, because he always knew what he was doing. There's no such thing as knowing what you're doing with addiction or drugs. You don't know what you're doing every time you are taking that risk, every time you pick up. And that's what I told her. No one knows when too much is too much, especially when you build a tolerance to it. There's nobody that's experienced with it. You could be here one day and gone the next. And that was what happened to him, as well as my daughter. For the next several months, I just watched her break Her heart was broken, and that meant that she ran to her addiction deeper. That meant that she wanted to cover up the pain and numb it and self-medicate, and so she did. She continued doing that for quite a while until she ended up getting arrested. When she got arrested, fast forward, about a year later, she was actually given 6 months this time. The judge finally decided, okay, we're going to give you time. She'd been lucky many times, and I do mean many. She would get probation and, a week or two in jail. But this time it was 6 months. And the reason the judge gave her 6 months is because he told her, I'm not going to let you out and take a risk of you using and dying. The reason he said that was because my daughter and her boyfriend had charges together, and they had a case together. So he found out that he had passed away, and he didn't want to risk that happening to my daughter. So he gave her 6 months and ordered her rehab once she got out of jail. Fast forward, she got out. 4 months later, released on good behavior, and went into rehab and completed it and did amazing. Within months, she got into her own place in the recovery community. I was concerned because I knew that she would be surrounded by, others that were in recovery. But if one person relapsed, that could cause a domino effect for all around them, including my daughter. Her and another girl did use together. I don't know if there were more, but I know these two used together the night that my daughter lost her battle. It only took a few months before my daughter relapsed and passed away. She passed away in her own home with her 2 children. Those babies, her children, are the ones that found her. Something that a child should never have to see. My daughter used to tell me, Mom, don't worry, I'm never gonna die. I used to tell her my fear of me or her children finding her or losing her. And she said, that'll never happen. I would never let you go through that, or my children. But she was wrong. There are no do-overs in death. Addiction is a death threat. It really is. It's a death sentence. It's quit or you lose the battle. Thank you all so much for your love and support and sticking with me. I am going to start sharing more. I have been consumed with homeschooling with my grandchildren and sharing the story in other places as well, but I will be back here full time and sharing more memories of my daughter and her addiction. Please continue spreading awareness. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please click the subscribe button, like, and share so that we can get the word out and make a difference. Together we can make a difference in saving one life at a time. If you have any questions that you would like answered, please leave them in the comments and I will be happy to address them in videos. I'm going to start doing that until I'm able to get on live stream, which I hope to be happening soon. Thank you all so much for your love and support. If you are struggling with addiction, please reach out for help. You can message me or email me, comment below, and I will help you find resources to get on the road to recovery. Much love.